Hello everybody! We are practically at the final stage of our fascinating trip through the Goldfinch protocol's world. We got acquainted with major roles in the project. We learned about macro, currency and regulatory risk. We also conducted due diligence to know about borrowers' income statement, balance sheet, cash flow and unit economics. And now, if we get that everything is suitable for us, we need to come to the signing the agreement to lend our USDC. In epigraph to this video, I took words from Alexander Pushkin's Eugene Onegin. The story tells us that there was a confusion between lenders on whom to take and what to take after so-called borrower's default. In order to clarify everything at the start, we need a term sheet. We need to prepare a term sheet in order to specify the conditions we want to lend money at and to receive it back. What is a term sheet? It's a kind of list where all conditions of lending are marked. So, what is it consisting of? Firstly, we specify the borrower himself. It is easy, and I think that doesn't need to be explained. Then, we need to make our lending safe. So we have to specify guarantees. Is there someone who can become a guarantor for our borrower in case he defaults or will not be able to repay his debt? We also specify lenders. In our case, they are backers and liquidity providers. The facility type comes next. This can be a little bit harder because we need to clarify the needs of a borrower and our comfortable conditions too. But anyways, there are two types of facility. It is a term loan, which means that the debt has to be repaid at a certain moment. The second facility type is a revolving credit facility. As it comes from its name, it revolves, which means that it doesn't have a certain time to be repaid, and the time of repayment always changes depending on when and in what amount the borrower took the loan. The borrower can borrow and repay it in different amounts and at different times. Having done with facility types, you need to clarify the seniority of a debt. What does it mean? The seniority defines the priority of getting loan back in case of borrower's default. There can be three types of seniority: senior secured debt, senior debt, and subordinated debt. So the sequence of getting money back for this type is respectively to the order I have put them here. Of course, the percent rate of interest is also decreasing according to seniority. In other words, the higher seniority of a debt level, then smaller the interest. Next, we clarify a facility size, currency, coupon, and a tenor. For example, we lend $5 million in USDC at 15% annual rate for the period of 36 months, interest and principal payments. In these parts, we specify how often the borrower pays interest and repays the principal or the body of a loan. We call it in Russia this way. It is common that the interest payments are made monthly. There is nothing special in this. But when we speak about principal payments, we have options, and there are two major of them. The first one is a bullet principal at maturity, and the second is amortizing, which means that the body of a credit is divided on similar parts along the term of a loan and is also repaid monthly. Security. Security part of the term sheets contains the subject of a real-world pledge. What? Pledge? You can tell me that in my first video I said that there is no collateral, not at all. There is no collateral in crypto, and it is true. But to secure backers' money, we need to have a pledge in a real-world assets, and it's still comfortable because the pledge can be the receivables or company's property, which can be still in use and not freeze as it goes with crypto liquidity. Because when the crypto is pledged as a collateral, it cannot be in use despite of real-world assets like companies, buildings, means of production, or receivables. So the case of collateral doesn't affect current business processes. I mean that the company still uses it as usual. Nothing changes in their work, accept a higher level of responsibility, which is good for bankers. And lastly, there are 3 sections of financial, portfolio, and information covenants. As you remember, when we were speaking about the balance sheet, we knew that we can get all the information about what a company has as assets and liabilities. Basing on the balance sheet, we need to determine parameters that we want to see in the term sheet, such as loan to value, which shows the amount of a loan to the size of collateral. And we can find all the information about what company can offer as a collateral from its balance sheet. Another index in financial covenants is debt to equity ratio. This is also can be found in the balance sheet when we look at assets and liabilities. When we got that information, we should simply divide liabilities on assets to know the ratio. For example, if a company has 20 millions in assets and 30 millions in liabilities, the loan to value ratio will amount 1.5x. Also, in this part, we should mark the amount of cash we want the borrower to have on its bank accounts. In the portfolio covenants part, we should take the information from portfolio analysis and determine which conditions of the borrower's portfolio is suitable for us as lenders. For example, we want the portfolio to have days past due 30 not higher than 10%. Also, days past due 60 not higher than 8%, and a loss rate ratio is less than 5% should be suitable. Once again, I want to remark that this information should be totally studied in order for us to feel most comfortable putting these conditions to the term sheet. In information covenants, we ask the borrower to supply us the information we need to be sure that everything goes right. For example, we can ask him to give us information about monthly loan level, balance sheet, or cash in his bank account. So, as we have done all these sections, we have the term sheet in our hands. And if both sides agree with it, we can come to signing loan agreement and lend USDC. Thank you for watching, and I hope that my videos help you to understand the Goldfinch protocol better. Goodbye, and see you next time.